Good Tuesday evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Emily Walls. We had a gorgeous day here around the Chicago area today, finally getting rid of that humidity, but it's going to be very short-lived. So we have a lot of heat, a lot of humidity to talk about late this week going into this upcoming holiday weekend. And we're already starting to see the holiday travel kind of kicking into high gear here. And unfortunately, there's been a couple weather systems across the country today that's actually kind of been wreaking some havoc when it comes to flights and flight delays and ground stops. So we're going to talk a little bit about that this evening. Also, this is a really big weekend across the Chicago area because of the NASCAR Chicago Street Race that is taking place on both Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday we have qualifying, Sunday we have the actual race. And unfortunately, both days we're going to have the chance of seeing some showers and thunderstorms. So I'll dive into that forecast. And then finally, tracking the tropics, we still have Hurricane Flossie to tell you about. And right now it is up to a Category 2. So a very powerful storm, almost a major hurricane currently in the eastern Pacific. So let's get to it. First and foremost, we're going to talk about that holiday travel forecast. We've already seen kind of the mass exodus going out of the Chicago area today on the highways. But if you look at the flights, what I want you to pay attention to on this map is notice all of the ones that are kind of blinking. So we have Denver, we have Vegas, we have out in JFK, portions of the Washington area seeing some delays, and even Miami earlier today. And we're going to go ahead and stop the map here and focus on what's taking place right now. So if we zoom things off toward the east, you'll notice we have a purple shading over the Washington, D.C. airport as well as JFK. So let's get a check of what's taking place here. So we actually have several thunderstorms that are rolling through the area, and it's all associated with a pretty strong cold front that's rolling through this region. But right along that frontal boundary, we have strong to severe thunderstorms, heavy downpours, and that's why we're seeing this ground stop until 9:15 Eastern time. So for about another 15 minutes or so for Washington International, and then for JFK, we also have a ground stop that's lasting until 9 p.m. Eastern. So, of course, that's right around right now. We should hopefully start to see that lifting here in the next couple of minutes. But for those of you, or if you have family or friends that are flying in and out of any of these airports, likely experiencing some pretty significant delays because of that. And then jumping out west, Vegas up to 106-minute delays. That's the average delay right now, and about 62 minutes coming out of Denver. And again, that too is because of showers, thunderstorms, some of which that have been strong to severe. So let's get a check of that satellite and radar. You see that long cold front that's stretching through the northeast and then down through the south. That's the frontal boundary that is currently bringing showers and thunderstorms to places like New York, Washington, D.C. That's why we have those delays taking place, but also some pretty significant heavy rainfall has also been noted in some portions of the south and the east. So for those of you, again, that may be traveling that way, just kind of keep that in mind that that could be slowing you down a little bit. And then jumping out west for the Plains states in portions of North Dakota, Nebraska, we actually have severe thunderstorm warnings, and we have a severe thunderstorm watch that's going to remain in effect until midnight. And closer to Denver, you can see those showers and thunderstorms beginning to pull away from Denver. Those are the storms that were in the vicinity that previously had a ground stop for Denver International. So again, some improvements there, but I think for the next, couple hours or so, we're likely going to be dealing with the same weather conditions, especially out east as these showers and storms continue to roll through. So this is the big weather headlines for today, but looking forward to the next couple of days, if you're traveling tomorrow or even going into Thursday, here are the regions that we're going to have to watch out for. So the Storm Prediction Center has areas that are highlighted in green here and a marginal risk, which means isolated severe thunderstorms are going to be possible. So these are really going to be the target areas that we'll have to watch closely if you do have travel plans on Wednesday. So that's going to be in portions of western North Dakota out into Montana, and then stretching back toward Oregon. That's where we could be seeing some strong to severe thunderstorms. And right here in the Great Lakes region, not so much in the Chicagoland area. There's a very small chance that we could have a pop-up shower or thunderstorm tomorrow or tomorrow night. But most, if not all of this activity is likely going to be to our north. So if you're traveling north into Wisconsin, over into Michigan, that's where we could be seeing some severe thunderstorms on Wednesday. And then if you're traveling south in Texas, they're actually picking up tropical moisture, all associated with Hurricane Flossie right now. So you have that counterclockwise wind flow that's pushing in that tropical moisture to the north in portions of Texas, going to be dealing with heavy downpours because of that. And in addition to the threat of thunderstorms, we could be seeing those flooding rains. So that's what we're going to be watching for in Texas, especially western Texas tomorrow. And then over in Florida, there's also that same frontal boundary that I was just showing you that's moving through the southeast. It's going to stall out basically right over Florida and right along the far southeastern coast. So that's going to be a focus for showers, thunderstorms. So that too could be leading to some sort of flight delays and then also some very heavy downpours in some portions of the area. So that was all for Wednesday. Bouncing ahead now to Thursday. This is when I think travel is really going to be ramping up for many people. We still have that marginal risk across portions of the Dakotas. North and South Dakota could be seeing strong to severe thunderstorms. Great Lakes region once again highlighted by the Storm Prediction Center. And then also toward the north and the east and New England states. That's where we too could be seeing strong to severe thunderstorms going into Thursday. So the next couple of days I think is actually going to look very similar to what we had today as far as where these thunderstorms are going to be popping up and where we could potentially be dealing with some of those travel delays. So Futurecast, let's kind of zoom things into home now. So the Chicagoland area, the Great Lakes region, tonight, no issues for us. It's quiet, we have clear skies overhead and fairly high pressure that's in place. But notice some showers and thunderstorms are likely going to be popping up late tonight into the early morning hours of tomorrow across portions of southern Minnesota, northern Iowa. We could be seeing those breaking out, but then they're going to fizzle out as they move off toward the south and the east. So when it comes to our storm chances tomorrow, they exist. They're just very low. Most of us are going to end up staying dry here in Chicago and then the Chicagoland area, likely staying mainly dry, just becoming partly cloudy. Then notice we have a cold front that's trying to move down. Unfortunately, if you're hoping for a break from the heat, it's only going to get hotter from here. So today we topped out in the mid 80s. Tomorrow we're going to be near 90, same thing on Thursday, and then we're jumping into the mid 90s going into that 4th. So this cold front right here, it's really not going to do much for us. If anything, it's just going to kind of fade out, fizzle out as it approaches the area, maybe triggering a couple showers or thunderstorms. But that's really about it. If you're hoping for that cooler air, it's not coming around anytime soon. But the one thing that I think we can be kind of grateful for in the next couple of days is that we're looking at low humidity. So yes, we have the heat tomorrow and on Thursday, but the humidity isn't going to be all that high until we go into the 4th and then this upcoming weekend. So at least we're not dealing with the heat and the humidity for the next couple of days. We just have the heat. So your 5-day forecast as far as rainfall is concerned. Low end chance for showers and thunderstorms tomorrow. Same thing going into your Thursday. Friday for the 4th, we get a break. So if you're hoping to get out to those fireworks shows, I think really all across the region, we're in really good shape. You're just going to have to be prepared for the heat because even during the evening, the overnight hours, temperatures, they're only going to be dropping down into the mid to upper 70s, and that's not until the following morning. So during those fireworks shows, temperatures are still likely going to be well into the 80s. So you're going to need to be prepared for the heat. The heat index value also going to be playing a role because of that high humidity. And then this weekend, of course, we were talking about the NASCAR race. We could again be dealing with showers and thunderstorms. And if you think back to the past couple of years, we've had those pop-up showers and storms rolling through. And unfortunately, 2 years ago, we nearly had a rain out and we could potentially be dealing with heavy downpours again going into Sunday for race day. I think qualifying on Saturday, a lot of those showers and storms are likely not going to take off until the evening or the overnight hours. So the daytime hours of your Saturday, I think it looks fine. So if you're choosing between which day to go to, if you were asking me, I would pick Saturday just because Sunday is a little more unpredictable on the exact timing and placement of those showers and thunderstorms that are likely going to be developing. Now, outside of outside plans that you may have, we're actually really hoping for some rain. Not to rain on your parade, but we need the rain across the region. We have the drought monitor showing that most of the area is in a moderate drought, so we really need a good soaking rain that if we could get a light rain for an entire day or two, that would really do us some good. But unfortunately, we don't have that anytime soon. And all of the rain chances that we do have in the next couple of days, they're just going to be very, very spotty in nature. So not everybody's going to be seeing that. Coming up right after this break, I'm going to be diving into the tropics. We have almost a major hurricane with Flossie. And also, I'm watching development near Florida. Those details in 2 minutes. Welcome back. Checking in with the tropics now. In the eastern Pacific, this is a look at Hurricane Flossie, which typically, whenever you start to see that eye developing here on the satellite imagery, that's when you know that you have a very strong hurricane. And just within the last couple of hours, Flossie has developed a very well-defined eye in the center of that storm. So right now we have maximum sustained winds of 110 miles per hour. This is just off the coast of southwestern Mexico. Fortunately, it's not expected to make landfall. However, some of those outer bands are moving onshore, which is going to be bringing torrential downpours and the risk of flooding rains as well as mudslides. So that's the main concern across portions of Mexico as this is passing on by. Again, this currently has 110 mile per hour winds, which is putting this as a high-end category 2. So we rank hurricanes based on their wind speeds. And you can see here that a category 2 goes up to 110 miles per hour. But this thing is still in favorable waters, so it's still going to have a little bit more strengthening that we're likely going to see tonight. So there is a potential that this is likely going to strengthen into a category 3 hurricane tonight. But notice as this begins to take off toward the north and the west, kind of skating right on by the Baja California Peninsula right there, it really begins to lose steam. That's really coming down to the water temperatures that start to cool off. So you need sea surface temperatures of near 80 degrees in order to sustain a tropical storm or a hurricane. And we just don't have that. The farther north and west, those water temps drop into the 70s, eventually into the 60s. And that's why we're going to see rapid weakening expected, especially late Thursday and then going into Friday, eventually just becoming a tropical depression. So it's not going to last for that much longer. But again, those flooding rains and that mudslide risk, that is going to exist for a couple days in portions of Mexico. Now, bouncing over to the Atlantic, you can see highlighted there in orange is a 40%. What does that mean? This means that there is a 40% chance that a tropical cyclone is going to develop in the next 7 days. But at this point, it's looking like this could potentially happen by this weekend, if not early next week. Now, does that mean that it's automatically going to strengthen into a tropical storm? No, but what this could be resulting in is some sort of tropical depression or subtropical depression that could be bringing really heavy rainfall to portions of Florida this weekend and then possibly into early next week. So that could be impacting holiday travel as well, especially for those of you that may be traveling home from Florida late this weekend or early next week after the 4th. We could be seeing some travel delays because of that. Now here at home, it's all about the heat. We are going to be in the mid-90s by Friday. If we actually hit the mid-90s, we're looking at the warmest 4th of July that we've seen here in Chicago since 2012. I'll have more details on that, including your full 7-day forecast on the news at 9. We'll see you soon.